All right, so hopefully my audio is okay. All right, so I want to say, Hotep, here is another very brief and bite-sized quick lesson for everyone to benefit from. I hope everyone can benefit from these short lessons. So this is number 2 for today, and this one is entitled A Quick Lesson in Honorific Transposition. I'm not sure how many people have heard of that term being used in regards to the ancient Egyptian language that we know as Rani Kemet, or the writing system that we know as Sesh, Medew, Netcher, or more commonly called hieroglyphs. So just want to do a quick explanation of what honorific transposition is, in case you have heard of it, and if you haven't, then hopefully you will learn about it. All right. Also, I have with me for this session Sonnet Imiket. So I don't know if you want to say greetings to everyone, or
Yes, Hotep. Yes, and not to waste too much time, so we'll just go ahead and present.
all right. Okay. And I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, and the Super Bowl, I guess it is about to begin. So this is like a pre-Super Bowl quick lesson. All right. So let's dive right into it. All right. So the question is, what is honorific transposition? All right. And quite simply, put the names of deities, kings, or the words of deities or kings are written before other words closely connected with one another. This was done to give honor to the deity or king, and is called honorific transposition. This is very common with names of kings within the Shinu, commonly known as a cartouche, making it easy for beginners to misread the order of signs. The name King Tut, or King Tut as people say, is a popular example. So right here we're looking at the name of King Tut. We're looking at 2 of his names, and without going into a lesson on the names themselves, the kings have 5 names. All right, and this is 2 of the names for King Tut. The first one here is the throne name, that is signified by Nisut Biti, the 2 glyphs that you see here. And then the next name would be the family name, preceded by the phrase Sarah. And I'm sure a lot of people heard of that phrase, Sarah. But what we want to pay attention to is within the second cartouche, the actual name, we refer to him as King Tut Ankh Amen. So in this example, we see that the name Amen is written first, and that's these first 3 glyphs here, and hopefully my cursor is showing. These first 3 glyphs spell out the name Amen, and then we have Tut, then we have Ankh, Hika, Yenu, and then Shema. But what's important here for this quick lesson is the name Amen. Now notice that we don't call him Amen Tut Ankh. We say Tut Ankh Amen. All right. So honorific transposition again is when the names of deities, kings, or the words of deities or kings are written before other words closely connected to one another out of honor. So the deity's name would be written first, even though syntactically, or dealing with the grammar, it would come afterwards. All right. So let's move on. So here's his name again. And so we see King Tut's throne name is Neb Keperu Ra. This is what we see here. But notice that to break these glyphs down, the first one you see is Ra. The next one is Keperu. And then the last one is Neb. But notice that we said Neb Keperu Ra, because these 2 deities' names are written before out of honor, Ra being first. So it's said last, Ra is said last, but it's actually written first. So honorific transposition is a script phenomenon, or an orthographic phenomenon. It's not something that you hear in speech, in spoken language, only in the writing. All right. And so his name, Neb Keperu Ra, means possessor of the forms of Ra. So however, we see that it is spelled with Ra first and Keperu second. The scribes will honor the deity or the king by putting the name not in its correct grammatical position, but at the very beginning of the phrase. King Tut's birth name is Tutankh Amun Heka Inu Shema, which is the living image of Amen, ruler of Upper Heliopolis, or Inu, known as Heliopolis. And we can see the divine name Amen is placed first. Okay, this is what I explained before. Now, so here's some common phrases that you hear, but you may not be familiar with the way it looks inside of the glyphs to know that it's honorific transposition. So here are some examples. The first one is Netcher, and that's a word phrase that simply means temple, more so divine enclosure, but we would shorten it to say temple. But notice that the word, we say Netcher, but the word Netcher is written first. This first glyph here is the word Netcher. Now the next one is should be very familiar with everyone. That is the word phrase Medew Netcher. We translate it as divine words, but notice that we say Medew Netcher, but when it's written, Netcher comes first. So if we were to read it as it's written, we would say Netcher Medew, but no one says it because that would be grammatically incorrect. But in the writing system, writing script, honor is given to the word for deity or God, which will be Netcher here. So Netcher is written first, although it's said second. And as a side note, people who believe that the writing system or the language is, pretty much abstract, unknown, hasn't been deciphered and things like that, whenever they utter out of their mouths the phrase Medew Netcher, they're acquiescing or confirming that we do know the language. Because if you looked at it, as I said, you would say Netcher Medew, but the fact that everyone says Medew Netcher is confirmation in and of itself. There's nothing further else to say. All right, and I'm sure that people who feel that way may not even realize that's what they're doing. So just to quickly go through a couple more, we have Netcher, which is a priest, and again, Netcher is written first. We have Hetepu Netcher, which is divine offerings. Netcher is written first, and Hetepu is after. And I'm going to skip down to, well, not skip, I'll go through the next one. So we have Sa Nisut, which we would say son of a king or simply prince. But we see Nisut is written first. Sa is second, but we say Sa Nisut. Sat Nisut, which would be daughter of the king or princess. Mut Nisut, mother of the king. Okay, but Nisut is written first. Hem Nisut, wife of king, or we would simply say queen. And then Sesh Nisut, the scribe of a king. The king is written first. The word for king, I should say, is written first. So all of these are examples of honorific transposition. So lastly, we have two more examples. Here we have the name of King Senwosret II. This is his throne name, and it's Keper Ka Ra. Now we say Ra last, but it's actually written first, as you can see. If we would say it the way it was written, we would say Ra Keper Ka, but that would be incorrect grammatically. Keper Ka Ra. All right. And last, we have a common phrase that's not a name, but it's a phrase that you'll see written after a king's name. And it's a phrase, it's usually said as Unk Mi Ra Jed, but it's actually Unku Mi Ra Jet. And it means it's like a wish you're giving someone in hope. So you're saying, may he be alive like Ra eternally. So the honorific transposition here is that Ra is written before me. So it's may he be alive like. The word me is the word like. Ra, eternally. Jet is eternally. Okay, so Unk is the word for life, but Unku is like a stative in a request form. Say, may he be alive. Then we have Ra, me, Jet, but we don't, as far as in the writing, but we don't say it that way. We say Unk, me, Ra, Jet, or more accurately, we would say Unku, mi, Ra, Jet. May he be alive like Ra eternally. So again, Ra is written before the word me. All right. And that's it. So, Son of Emika, did you have anything to add? You know.
No, I think that was pretty clear. I mean, it's good that you kind of went over that and also explained a little bit about the grammar. I know we haven't discussed the grammar so much, but once you know, one is proficient with the grammar, then they will be able to understand why you know, it would be wrong to translate this kind of hexaglyphs and just directly without any honorific transposition, because I did actually come across another video that actually went through, I think the one that you have now on your screen, the titular for Tutankhamun. I saw a video, you know, going over the reason why it is actually read directly as with no honorific transposition, but it didn't actually go through the meaning, because it said I think the reason of having it read as Imen Tut Ankh, which would not actually render it correctly grammatically, but it had some other kind of reasons talking about the word Amun, that it was trying to, that it was the Europeans who were trying to hide the word Amun from the general public. And that doesn't really make sense. So we have to kind of like just try to understand it from the correct point and just understand the grammar and all that. Then it will all make sense. But it's good that you're going over that.
Okay, yeah, and in hearing what you just said, it wouldn't even make sense that somebody's trying to hide the name Amen when you can see it clear. It's right here in the cartouche. It's the first three glyphs. And so even if we didn't see the glyphs and we were writing it in the normal way that we write it in English, we say King Tut Ankh Amen. So it's not hidden at all. It's there when we say it. Now people shorten it to King Tut, you know, obviously, but you know, I don't think there's a conspiracy to hide the name Amen, especially when Amen is probably one of quite a few prolific words that are used. It's at the end of prayers for all of the Abrahamic belief systems, you know, end of prayers, or, you know, meaning faithful and things like that. You know, I'm not saying that they got it from there or whatever the case is. I'm just saying, you know, this word Amen, even in the Bible, in the book of Revelations, it has some character, deity or otherwise, that's named the Amen, the first witness of creation or something to that effect. So it's not hidden. You know, I don't know, you know, why that would be a thought that someone would say. Now the word Amen, the only thing I could make sense of that, the word Amen itself, it means imperceivable, which some people translate as hidden, like Amen, the hidden one, you know. So maybe that's a play on words or something, but no.
Yeah, no, that would not be a good argument. And also that the Nesut Biri name will be Ra Keperu Neb. So I guess you know, just can't just ignore the honorific transposition, and in such instances it works. It you know, grammatically it wouldn't make sense. So when we translate, we also have to put all those into consideration and not just go off on some conspiracy theory and just be wrong, you know. So
Okay.
it's good that you went over this.
Okay, so we want to keep it short. Just want to remind everyone, hopefully you benefit from these small little tidbits, and I'll do my best to keep it short. I'm known to kind of drag things out and everything, but I will do my best to be disciplined in that regards. But I do want to remind everyone to please visit the website. You know, we have information there that you can hopefully benefit from as well. Sesh mdw-ntr.com. Also, a new website that is just getting off the ground. It doesn't have much content there now, but we hope for it to grow. Check it out. It's Seba University. The word Seba itself means it deals with words that mean instruction, teaching, discipline, disciple, student, teacher, etc. I already said instructions. That's what the word Seba means. So we have Seba University there. And again, it's going to be similar to Udemy and Coursera, offering courses for people to take and receive completion certificates and things. So hopefully we'll be able to expand on that. And then lastly, our 3 publications. Has the Egyptian hieroglyphic writing system been deciphered? A rebuttal to Walter Williams. Simplified, Sesh, Medew, Netcher, Penmanship, a lesson in Egyptian hieroglyphic writing. Book 1, Monoliterals, written by our sister Sonnet Emiket. And our textbook, beginner's textbook, Sesh, Medew, Netcher, a beginner's introduction to Medew, Netcher, the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic system. And be on the lookout by the spring. Rodney Kemet, The Language of Kemet, Ancient Egyptian Grammar, a synchronic descriptive grammar of the older speech of Kemet. All right, so I'm still hopefully be able to publish that out in the spring, and also roll out the actual study courses. Okay, so with that, I will keep this brief, and I will say Shem Hotep. Hope everyone enjoys the Super Bowl and company, and have fun and everything like that. But please give me your feedback on this. If you have questions, type it under the video, because it's archived. We're in the Amara Squad Facebook group, and I'll keep these up myself and other members of the Seshu. Periodically we'll just do these, and if you have recommendations for any topic, please also let me know, or let us know about that. So again, welcome any questions, even critique. If you feel that I've shown or said anything wrong, any of us, by all means, bring it to our attention, because the whole point is to be as accurate as possible, and each one teach them all. All right, so I will say Shem Hotep.